Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. We're coming to you live from Manila in Thailand. Hello, Gladys.
Hello, Alma, bringing you the news. I'm Gladys Pinola, by the way, and bringing you the news in the dynamic ASEAN region.
On today's headlines, Southeast Asian leaders kicked off an ASEAN summit, but Myanmar refused to send a representative after being angered by the bloc's decision to exclude the country's junta chief.
Secretary General Antonio Gutierrez announced on Monday that he had named Singaporean sociologist Nulin Heiser as the new special envoy to Myanmar.
And massive flooding in Buhangin, Davao City following heavy downpour on Monday evening.
The Philippine Sports Commission, or PSC, board approved the granting of 750,000 worth of special incentives for Carlos Yulo for his double medal performance at the 2021 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships held in Kitasushi, Japan.
First in our news, Southeast Asian leaders kicked off an ASEAN summit today, but Myanmar refused to send a representative after being angered by the bloc's decision to exclude the country's junta chief. The virtual gathering marked the start of 3 days of meetings hosted by the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, with U.S. President Joe Biden, as well as Chinese and Russian leaders are set to attend. Myanmar's refusal to let a special envoy meet ousted civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi prompted the bloc last week to exclude junta chief Min Aung Hlaing from this week's summits. Now, Myanmar will top the agenda on today's talks between regional leaders, where the country is still in chaos following February's military takeover and subsequent deadly crackdown on dissent. Min Aung Hlaing's exclusion was an unprecedented snub from an organization often criticized for being toothless and was slammed by the junta as a breach of the bloc's policy of non-interference in member states' affairs. Aaron Connolly, a Southeast Asian expert from the International Institute for Strategic Studies, said the decision to bar the junta chief was tremendously significant. It is the most significant sanction that ASEAN has ever handed to a member state, and it is in direct response to the non-compliance that we have seen from the junta, he told a panel discussion on Monday. This year's meetings are hosted by Brunei and are taking place online due to virus-related travel difficulties. After the Southeast Asian leaders hold talks, President Biden will take part in a U.S.-ASEAN summit later in the day and in a summit including Chinese Premier Li Keqiang and other world leaders Wednesday. It is the first time in 4 years that a U.S. president has attended the ASEAN summits as Biden seeks to rally support in the region against a rising China.
On the other hand, UN Secretary General Antonio Gutierrez announced on Monday that he had named Singaporean sociologist Nulin Heiser as the new special envoy to Myanmar, and she will replace Christine Schrader-Perner of Switzerland. Heiser, 73, has held multiple senior positions at the United Nations, in particular between 2007 and 2014 as the head of an Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific between 2013 and 2015. She served as special advisor for East Timor. As part of her duties on the Economic and Social Commission, Heiser worked closely with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, as well as with Myanmar authorities on the development and reduction of poverty. Since the February 1 coup in Myanmar. That put an end to a 10-year democratic period. The United Nations and ASEAN have unsuccessfully urged the military junta to relaunch a political dialogue and liberate civilian officials arrested during the putsch. Neither Berner, who is leaving her on duties after 3.5 years to enter the Swiss government, nor Brunei's Deputy Foreign Minister Irwan Yusuf, appointed ASEAN emissary in August, has been able to go to Myanmar, where they hope to meet with civilians versus former civilians leader Aung San Suu Kyi.
Meanwhile, the outgoing UN Special Envoy on Myanmar, Christine Schreiner Bergener, said the situation there continues to deteriorate. Bergener last week said that Myanmar had spiraled into civil war. The chance to return to democracy was disappearing. Let's listen in.
Unfortunately, the situation is really bad in Myanmar. Over 8 months since the military takeover, the overall situation in Myanmar continues to deteriorate sharply, with the conflict intensifying in many parts of the country, and the repression of the military has led to more than 1,180 deaths. The Tatmadaw, the army, uses a range of tactics against civilian populations, including burning villages, looting properties, mass arrests, torture, and execution of prisoners, gender-based violence, and random artillery fire into residential areas. Clearly, in the absence of international action, violence has been justified as the last resort, while criticism has been mounting domestically and internationally. Clearly, we are now in a critical time not to allow the Tatmadaw taking the upper hand and to go back to business as usual. And therefore, we have to be careful. And because the Tatmadaw, in my view, and the SAC are not ready for compromise. They didn't react on our proposal for a dialogue, which means always a dialogue means compromises on all sides. So in my view, I assess this as no interest in a compromise or in a dialogue.
Bergener said her recommendation to the international community is to give no signals or make movements towards accepting the government installed by the military, since she sees the level of power that Tatmadaw holds in the country as the main root cause of instability.
Meanwhile, a top aide to President Joe Biden told representatives from Myanmar's government in exile Monday that is concerning by the military junta's arrest of democracy activist called Jimmy, a White House spokeswoman said. Security Advisor Jake Sullivan met virtually with members of the exiled government, dual Asians and Mara Young, in the latest show of support, and his spokeswoman Emily Horn said in a statement. Sullivan underscored continued U.S. support for the pro-democracy movement in Burma, and they discussed ongoing efforts to restore Burma's path to democracy, Horn said. The Southeast Asian country by its former name, Sullivan called the Burmese military's brutal violence, and also expressed concern over the recent arrest of pro-democracy activist Ho Chi Minh. The United States will continue to advocate for his release and the release of all those unjustly detained, Horn said.
Meanwhile, President Duterte will virtually participate in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN Leaders Summit, this week. Now, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque confirmed Duterte will be attending the series of events, ASEAN events. Let's listen in.
At dadalo po ang ating presidente via Zoom or computer hookup from October 26 to 28. No? So as usual po, regular naman po itong mga ASEAN Summit. Uunahin muna po yung ASEAN Summit, tapos magkakaroon ng ASEAN Korea, ASEAN China, ASEAN US, ASEAN Japan, ASEAN Australia, ASEAN +3, East Asia Summit, ASEAN India, ASEAN Russia, tapos yung closing ceremony.
The 38th and 39th ASEAN Summits and related summits with the theme We Care, We Prepare, We Prosper will be hosted by Brunei Darussalam through virtual video conferences due to the pandemic.
On the other hand, Cambodian lawmakers on Monday approved an amendment to the kingdom's constitution barring political leaders from holding dual citizenship, a move seen as targeting the country's most prominent opposition figure. Strongman leader Hun Sen had requested the Ministry of Justice to look into the amendment, saying in an October 6 post that change was needed in order to show loyalty to the nation and avoid foreign interference. After the amendment was approved, he added the door will be closed forever for dual citizenship. People who have attempted to hold top posts, especially the Prime Minister post. On Monday, the rubber-stamped parliament with all 111 lawmakers from the Premier's Cambodian People's Party voted to pass the amendment after a brief discussion. All candidates appointed as the Prime Minister presidents of the National Assembly, Senate, and the Constitutional Council must hold only Cambodian citizenship, according to the amendment.
Meanwhile, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison affirmed his country's support for ASEAN in an online speech Monday, speaking about the way forward for dealing with the pandemic. Let's listen in.
ASEAN is a long-time valued partner of Australia. Our futures are intertwined. Your growth underpins our prosperity. Your stability is fundamental to our own. And our enduring relationship is critical to an open, inclusive and resilient Indo-Pacific region. The COVID-19 pandemic has reminded us of what we can achieve when we work together. We all know that the way forward from here is vaccines. Access to safe and effective vaccines is the highest priority for Indo-Pacific nations. Together with our Quad partners, the United States, India and Japan, we have pledged to donate at least 1.2 billion vaccines doses globally. And Australia has committed 60 million doses to the Indo-Pacific by the end of 2022. We all want our economies to rebound strongly from COVID-19, and we all know that this can be accelerated through trade and investment under an open, rules-based international system. This makes agreements such as the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership and the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for the Trans-Pacific Partnership more important than ever.
Meanwhile, these investments, he said, are an addition to the $500 million to support new security, economic and development cooperation with Southeast Asia, which he announced at the ASEAN-Australian Summit last year. He also said they're working towards safely restoring international travel, which will be vital for reinvigorating all economies. Meanwhile, PDP Laban standard bearer Go ahead, Gladys.
Well, Alma, PDP Laban Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa visited Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte on Monday, October 25, to remind her of the November 15 deadline for the substitution of candidates. De la Rosa posted a photo on him at the office of the Davao City Mayor with the description that this was only a teaser of his meeting. Whether later he said that the meeting was supposed to be on a Saturday but was moved on Monday. Mayor Duterte Carpio had met on Saturday with presidential aspirant and former Senator Ferdinand Marcos Jr. that day. De la Rosa said he and the mayor had a long, serious talk on Monday. De la Rosa, in previous interviews, had been vocal in his being a last-minute PDP Laban standard bearer when he filed his certificate of candidacy late afternoon of October 8, the COMELEC deadline for the filing of candidates for national and local elections. He said that he was ready to give way to Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio in case she changes her mind and decides to run for the presidency. The presidential daughter had filed her certificate of candidacy for Davao City Mayor, seeking re-election for a third and last term. Well, Alman, I will be back after a short break.
Makabuluhang talakayan.
Sapat na
po ba yun? Papasok yung 30% sa indoor, 50% sa outdoor, para to even break even? Ilan pong mga negosyo ang nagsara po dahil dito po sa pandemya?
Malalim na komentaryo.
Ngayon, sinasabi essential goods and services. Pero nakita naman po natin sa Dolomite Beach. At may time clock yung mga bata doon.
Umaapaw sa impormasyon.
Ano ba ngayon ang allotted budget per voter? Yung hindi daw bakunado po ng mga empleyado, hindi sila pinapasweldo. Oras!
Pero hindi rin nagpapahuli sa kakulitan.
Merong nag-file for the presidency. Hinimok daw siya ng mga alien at ang kanyang plataforma po ay palakasin ang Wi-Fi. At ito si Ali magde-demonstrate paano mag-swimming na may face mask.
Kaya, nood na kina Ali Soto at Pati Daza sa ASPN. Ano sa palagay nyo?
Kung kayo po ay may pinagdadaanan, daanan nyo lang. Huwag niyong tambayan.
Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 10 ng umaga.
Oras, alas 9:26 na po ng umaga at nagbabalik po ang ASPN.
Mapapanood sa Net25 at mapapakinggan sa DZEC, Radyo Aguila at Eagle FM 95.5.
Let's go! Samut-saring mga videos ang ating nakikita. Iba't ibang eksena lalo na sa social media. May nakakalokang video, may nakakatawang video, may nakakamanghang video. Sa finest na kaboy video, may nakakaaliw na video, may pang-asar na video, may trending at viral video. Sa finest na kaboy video. Finest na kaboy video.
Parang pitik, bulag tayo. Sa pagpitik, dapat bang pareho? Parang pitik, bulag tayo.
Hi everyone, I'm Asel. Please do catch me on Letters and Music this coming Saturday, October 30, 1 to 2 p.m. Only here in Net 25.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business.
Your weekly dose of entrepreneurial inspiration
to update you on the latest developments in the world of business. Get up close and personal with CEOs and thought leaders to help you discover valuable insights, sharpen your instincts for smart decision making with the latest markets and economic trends, disruptive ideas, global innovation,
social entrepreneurship,
and other leading-edge business ideas. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business, from vision to action.
Start your day right! Tara na! Simulan na ang excitement and happiness kada umaga.
Trabaho naman talaga ng maritime group ng PNP is to enforce the maritime laws.
Tayo lang yung stricto, pero in other parts of the country, pwede na naman ang tourism.
Definitely, we are ready to respond to a possible spike.
Sapagkat ang aming intensyon ay makatulong lang sa mga tao na wala talagang magamit na gamot.
92 voted for this resolution, which will make it stronger, calling on the Justice Department to come up with more stringent ways to be able to avert these hate crimes against Asian Americans.
Mas marami po tayong magagamit ngayon na mga tools or mga equipment.
Maraming salamat, Weng, at sa buong puwersa ng Balitalakayan sa pagkakataong ito.
Tapos kayo ng mga pangunahing balita live sa teleradyo ng Net25 at Radyo Aguila DCEC 1062. Kasama si Weng de la Fuente sa...
At itong Balitalakayan, we live in interesting times.
Kumanta, sumaya tayong lahat. Saya-saya.
Posibleng palawigin ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ang Visiting Forces Agreement.
Tumaas pa ang reproduction number ng COVID-19.
Isinagawa ang turnover ng Lingap Goodie Bag sa San Miguel, Bulacan.
Ang maghahayag ng official statement ay ang pamilya.
Hindi lang sa aspetong pang-espiritual hinahangaan ng Iglesia ni Cristo.
Mapaunlad ang kabuhayan ng mga differently abled person.
Bukod sa pagtaguyod ng wika at kulturang Pinoy,
inaasahang bababa pa ang bilang ng mga Pinoy na walang trabaho.
Sumusunod sa mga alituntuning ipinatutupad ng gobyerno bilang pag-iingat sa COVID-19.
Isa sa naging dahilan ng paglaang pagtaas ng tubig dito noong mga nakaraang araw.
Handa ng Senado at Kamara na magpasa ng mga panukalang batas.
Umunlad ang peace and order sa bansa sa panahon ng panunungkulan ni Pangulong Duterte.
May ilang nagkaroon ang Delta variant ng COVID-19 ang nabakunahan na. Magandang gabi, Pilipinas.
Going back to the Philippines, Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque on Monday said there is a big possibility that a current alert level 3 status of the National Capital Region or NCR will be downgraded as the average daily attack rate continues to decrease. Citing data from the Department of Health or DOH, Roque said that a 2-week attack rate within Metro Manila is currently at 52%, while the average daily attack rate has decreased. Let's listen in.
Uulitin ko lang po yung sinabi ni Yusek Vergere, no, na malaki ang posibilidad na maibababa ang alert level kasi nga po nakikita natin yung datos ay bumababa, no. Negative 52% na po yung ating 2-week attack rate. Tapos yung ating average daily attack rate ay bumaba po ng 9.87. Tapos yung ating COVID bed utilization rate is now at 39% and 48% for ICU beds. So malaki po yung possibility na bababa tayo ng ng alert level, no?
Basa po.
After recording a significant drop in COVID-19 infections, the IATF EID has earlier approved the recommendation to place the NCR under alert level 3 from October 16 to 31st, 2021. The lowering of restrictions will further allow the reopening of more businesses in the region. Roque said that the final decision on the NCR's alert level will be tackled during the next IATF EID meeting on Thursday.
Meanwhile, President Duterte said he is most eager to answer the legality of his order prohibiting executive branch officials, particularly cabinet members, from attending the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearings on the alleged overpriced procurement of medical supplies against COVID-19. During the pre-recorded talk to the people aired on Monday night, Duterte welcomed the move of the Senate Blue Ribbons panel to challenge before the Supreme Court the legality of his order. Duterte said his disagreement with the Senate Blue Ribbon panel may be settled in the Supreme Court. Take a look.
If you remember, I have a memorandum prohibiting the cabinet members and other executive officials appearing in the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing without my permission. At last, the members of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee have finally seen the light. We welcome this move of bringing the legality of the memorandum to the Supreme Court. And we would like to congratulate the members for realizing, albeit late, even late, that it is the court which should eventually decide on the constitutionality of the order, and we will defend it. But we are not saying that we are the best mind here. It's a question of law, an issue of law, and it could either go either way. Supreme Court, dalhin mo doon kasi doon talaga magtapos itong my disagreement with the Blue Ribbon Committee because of their behavior and the way they treated. Ang sabi ko nga naman, you crumple, durugin na ninyo yung parmalin, pero yung mga tao ko sa gobyerno, yung ipinapatawag ninyo at pahintayin ninyo ng ilang oras at hindi naman ninyo tatawagin at kung nandoon, iniinsulto ninyo, para bang walang alam mga muron ang kaharap ninyo, sabi you are impertinent. Ito dapat si Gordo maglipat siya sa judiciary. Yung iyang ugali na yan. This is not feudal times. You have to be courteous. If you want to be treated with courtesy, you have to practice it. Pero I will not allow you to shout out at me. Hindi ako papayag ng ganun.
Gladys.
Maria Rosario, Brigadier said even with a highly transmissible and dominant Delta variant, the Philippines has controlled the rise in the number of coronavirus cases with a better healthcare system in place. She described the situation as a challenge, but Brigadier said the government was able to reduce the number of cases in 1.5 months after the first cases of the Delta variant was detected, and the cases spike after the period September 5th to 11th. Let's take a look.
So sa tingin ko si Secretary Galvez was saying that we were expecting a lot of cases when the Delta variant came in and has affected the Philippines kasi Nakita natin kung paano niya inapekto ang India, kung paano siya nakaapekto sa ibang lugar pa sa buong mundo. And we were expecting talaga na talagang tayo ay magkakaroon ng sobrang taas na mga kaso, tayo ay mau-overwhelm, tayo ay magkakaroon ng maraming pagkakamatay. Pero hindi po natin naabot yung projected number of cases. Hindi po natin naabot yung overwhelmed health systems. Although nahirapan po talaga tayo, we were all challenged. Pero nakita natin, we were able to reduce the number of cases in about 1.5 months after na pumasok at tumaas ang mga kaso natin from September 5 to 11. So I think, ayun yung konteksto ni Secretary Galvez. Hindi naman po natin sinasabing natalo na natin ng Delta. Dahil ang Delta po na andito pa sa atin, 9 out of 10 of those sequenced here in the country are all Delta variants already, no? So ibig sabihin, nandito na siya sa atin. Pero ang pinakamaganda, we were able to control. We were able to reduce the number of cases at naiayos po natin yung health system natin. And that is what is most important for us.
To reports. Virgil was reacting to reports stating that it was premature for National Task Force Against COVID-19 Chief Implementer Secretary Carlito Calves Jr. to say that the government has defeated the Delta variant. During the imposition of the enhanced community quarantine in the National Capital Region, or NCR, in July, the government further ramped up its vaccination program nationwide while it's restricted public movement.
Staying in the country, Education Secretary Leonor Biones said there are now 90 public schools that will be pushing through with conduct the pilot limited face-to-face classes on November 15. In a palace briefing, Biones said the goal of the Department of Education is to have 100 public schools participate in the limited in-person classes nationwide. Again, let's listen in.
So as of now, yung objective natin na maka-reach ng 100 schools, public schools, ay 90 na ang ating na-identify. Ito, sa opinion, hindi lamang Department of Education, kundi sa Department of Health. Kasi ang mahalaga yung tinatawag nating risk assessment. Hindi lamang na apat yung kondisyon kasi natin spokeshari. Una, kailangan pumapayag ang local government units na magkaroon ng pilot face-to-face sa kanilang teritoryo. Pangalawa, yung aming facilities sa DepEd mismo ay appropriate at handa sa pilot face-to-face, distancing, tubig, medicines, and so on. Pangatlo, ito ay mahalaga kasi ang parents are very important. Kailangan may written consent ang parents. Walang sapilitan ito. Kailangan na pumayag ang mga parents na kanilang anak ay sasali. Ito yung sinasabi nga natin na first batch, 59, tapos halos everyday may nadadagdag ng mga schools na nag-qualify. Tapos ang ginagawa natin ngayon ay rinireview natin dahil ang policy ay magdagdag tayo ng 20.
Meanwhile, Malaysia's government said a total of 22,166,633 individuals, or 94.7% of the adult population in Malaysia, have completed their vaccination as of yesterday. And we have an update coming in live from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Here is Alfred Balmes. Hello, Alfred.
Hi, Alma. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
According to Malaysia Deputy Education Minister Dr. Mash Hangson, almost all the teachers in the country have completed their COVID-19 vaccination. He said about 97% of teachers in the country had received their double doses, involving 400,678 teachers as of October 23. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob last week advised teachers who had yet to be vaccinated to do so immediately to protect themselves and their students. School will be reopened in stages, starting in phase 4 stage involving years 1, 2, and 3 primary pupils, as well as Form 3 and Form 4 students in the secondary school on November 1st. It was reported earlier that the Public Servant Department had warned that disciplinary action would be taken against civil servants who had yet to receive their vaccination by the 1st of November. With preparation for the reopening school are now ongoing, Dr. Ma said teachers should be complete their vaccination as soon as possible. He added, as of those who have not received their vaccine, we will refer the matter to the PSD for the next course of action. Dr. Ma also said new secondary school will be set up at Kampung Sawa in Slim Village. The nearest school now is about 24 kilometers away. The school will be benefit not only the Orang Asli community, but also those who will live nearby. He adding that the other adjacent villages, including Post Tinao, Post Bersi, and Kampung Ulo Slim. Back to you, Alma.
Thank you very much, Alfred, for your updates there in Malaysia. Good news. And surely we are looking forward for more updates coming in from Malaysia. Thank you, Alfred. Stay safe.
Likewise, live reporting from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. This is Alfred Palmes. We live in interesting times.
On the other hand, heavy rains caused massive flooding in NHA Buhangin, Davao City following the heavy downpour on Monday evening. Yesterday, the Davao City government gave an advisory that due to continuous increase of water level and moderate to heavy rains are being experienced on the upland area of the Matina River. PDERMO Opsin advised BDRR Matias, Matina Pani, Matina Aplaya, Matina Crossing, and volunteer troops are clustered within the aforementioned the river to conduct preempted evacuation of all the residents living near the aforementioned the river bank. Customers in some parts of the Davao Light franchise has also experienced a power interruption due to heavy rain, strong wind, and thunderstorm.
Meanwhile, the Philippine Sports Commission board on Tuesday today approved the granting of 750,000 pesos worth of special incentives for Carlos Edriel Yulo or Carlos Yulo for his double medal performance at the 2021 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships held in Japan. Take a look. Now, Yulo is the first Filipino multi-medal gymnast in the said tournament after claiming the gold medal in the men's vault with a score of 14.916 points, besting Japanese Yonekura Hidenobu, who earned 14.866 points. Yulo also won a silver medal in the men's parallel bars. PSC Chairman William Butch Ramirez explained that the provisions and technical conditions of Republic Act 10699, also known as the National Athletes and Coaches Benefits and Incentives Act, doesn't cover the annually held World Tilt of Gymnastics. Despite this, the sports agency recognizes the special significance of Yulo's win and approved the 500,000 and 250,000 peso incentives for his gold and silver medals, respectively.
And that's the latest news in the ASEAN region. Thank you for joining today with us in ASEAN Focus. This is Gladys Pinuela. We live in interesting times.
Thank you very much, Gladys, for keeping me company today. And we'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same place. You're on ASEAN in Focus. I'm Alma Angeles. We live in interesting times.
Sa weekdays prime ng Net25.